Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of my channel. I'm Edmund, heading to work. In my first episode, I covered about what I'm going to show you guys in this channel. So just to recap a little bit, it is mainly showing you guys around Japan on my motorcycle, as well as hiking and camping videos. As you know, the Japan's COVID-19 situation seems to be getting worse. While there's still no lockdown, generally there's a little bit of a concern that the Japanese government might actually lock down the country, especially Tokyo. So in order to avoid me being stuck at home and not able to make any videos for you guys, I decided to take a video. I decided to make a video while I'm heading to work today. Back to the topic. So today we're going to touch about 3 main topics. So the first one is why I bought this motorcycle. In my first episode, I covered that my previous motorcycle was a MT-07. So yeah, why did I choose to buy this motorcycle? The second thing which I would like to talk about is how does this motorcycle ride? So on the first question, why did I buy the CBR650R? So there's a long history about this. We start off with, I was already very keen in the middleweight class, so the 650 class. And honestly speaking, the CBR650F, so the predecessor to this motorcycle, was already quite attractive to me. So the main thing is, this motorcycle comes with 4-cylinder. I have not tried a 4-cylinder motorcycle before. So my first motorcycle was a CBR650R, so that's a single cylinder. My second motorcycle was a CBR400R, so that's 2-cylinder parallel twin. And then the third one was the MT-07, another parallel twin. Hope that you can see that there's a progression there. So starting from 250 to 400, and then to 650. So when the CBR650R was released in 2019, I was really interested in the motorcycle. I bought the MT-07 approximately 3 years ago, and back then it was still the CBR650F. I didn't get the F because back then when you compare against the MT-07 being firstly a cheaper bike and something that's lightweight, and I bought it. I bought the MT-07 when I first came to Tokyo. So my initial impression of getting a bike in Tokyo would be more city riding, right? So lots of traffic lights, slow speed riding, etc. So between the 650F and the MT-07, I decided to go for the MT-07. I can touch more about that next time if you guys want to know more why I got the MT-07. But coming back to the present, so why did I get the 650R and dump the MT-07? So after riding in Japan for approximately 3 years, I noticed that if I want to get anywhere from Tokyo to do hiking, to do camping, or any other outdoor activities, there's a lot of highway miles. So you have to ride the highway quite a lot just to get to the place you want to go. And that's mainly because Tokyo is such a big city, right? So even though I do not stay in the center of Tokyo, it takes a long time for me to get anywhere, just to go for simple hiking or camping, etc. So after experiencing this for about 3 years, I noticed that I need a bike that is more comfortable on the highway. And that's where I decided in December 2019 to purchase the CBR650R. The CBR650R was chosen because obviously it has some fairings to give additional wind protection, additional power on the highway. It has an inline 4 engine which makes riding generally more comfortable. Then the next question is, how does it ride? How does it handle? How's the power like? So starting with the power, so it's really smooth. You don't feel like the bike is shaking so much. I mean, obviously it's shaking, it's still shaking, it's an inline 4. The power comes on in a very gradual way, so it's very friendly for new riders. I was really surprised when I first got the bike and how the power is being delivered. I think in most riding situation in a city, the MT-07 definitely have the leg up over the CBR650R. But that's fine, you know, in the city you don't really need so much power. You get into trouble with the police, and you don't really want to do that in Japan. At approximately around 8,000 RPM onwards, you can feel the bike really start to take off. So that's where it also starts to pull away from the MT-07. So most of the time in the city, I will ride around in gear 4, gear 5. So once again, I'm not really a power hungry person. Gear 4 and gear 5 usually have enough power to just keep me chugging along, and usually that's enough. Then on the highway, usually I just stick to gear 6, and the motorbike has enough flexibility to pull from really low RPM to really high RPMs as well. So you don't really need to shift gear so much. That's one of the benefits too. Handling. How does this bike handle? In the city, so let's start with the different areas, right? So in the city, it definitely has a little bit of disadvantage against the MT-07. The first thing first, the MT-07 has a bigger steering lock. So compared to the MT-07, the steering lock, I mean this. So what happens is, you have a tendency to, when you are trying to negotiate really tight corners, you find that yourself making the extra 3-point turn compared to the MT-07. The city position is also more upright, and you feel like you have a lot more control over the steering compared to the CBR650R. But other than that, in the highways as well as in the mountains, I think the CBR650R feels a little bit more connected to the ground. I think the suspension is a little bit of a better quality. Being more connected also means that the ride is a little bit harsher. So you feel more bumps, especially on the country roads. So I think this bike shines in where it needs to shine: mountain riding, highway ridings. Whereas the MT-07 is really much better for city riding, as well as negotiating small roads like this. If you have more questions about whether this bike suits your needs, let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to reply to your comments and make some recommendations. I think that's enough content for today. Hopefully Tokyo doesn't get locked down. I can still go out and make more videos for you guys. But keeping my fingers crossed, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.